everybody. Welcome to the webinar. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how to find deals in a recession. Are you already seeing the effects of the downturn? And
yeah, man, big time. I mean, that's the whole point of today is the market's changing and it's time to get entrepreneurial. We have been entrepreneurial since we started, but the market's been such where really was not a buyer's market. And we were still buying properties, we were still being entrepreneurial, but now it's just fun. And we've got a couple clients that are very active. We'll give you some insights on what they're doing, how we're looking at the market. And since I've been doing this, which is about 12 and a half years now, I've never had this opportunity. I've always operated as if it was a buyer's market, got called crazy, got shot down, heard the word no, found yes here and there. But now the yeses are much more prevalent. And I just am super excited to get on the phone and to drum up opportunities because the market is now in our favor.
You got any phone calls we can make tonight?
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're going to talk about a few things tonight. There's a lot of stuff coming up here in the real estate market. We're seeing a lot. Tonight, we're going to talk about where we're seeing a lot of these opportunities. We can break down some deals and look at some numbers if we have any to go through, and kind of what you should be out there looking for, what people are asking to sell their houses for, what a good place to come in at with offers is. We're going to break down how to analyze these deals. We may give a couple brokers a call and talk to some people who have some houses for sale and kind of walk y'all through how we're having these conversations, what we're saying to them, what pieces of information we're looking for on these phone calls, and ultimately what we're doing to come in, take these opportunities and make money from these opportunities. So right now, how many people do we have coming in? All right. How many people we got on Instagram? If you want to stay on for this live that we're putting on, how to find deals in a recession, make sure you go into the bio, click the link, and join this webinar. We're about to hop off Instagram and only be here on this webinar for the duration of tonight. Anything else you want to say before we get started?
Yeah, just put your comments in. Like Alex said, jump from Instagram to the webinar. But if you have any comments or things that you want to discuss, we'll try to tap into those. We'll try to get to every question that we can. We want to provide as much value as we can. That's what we're here for. We operate daily. We also try to add value and teach in a sense. I'm teaching college classes. We're teaching classes at TRE. And we just have this big belief that if you have the desire to succeed in real estate and you want more out of real estate, it's possible. It's hardcore. It's a grind. It takes a lot of setbacks to push through. We had a guy today close a deal that he thought no chance. And he found an investor last minute because his down payment was double. So just constantly pushing through and not giving up. That's what it's all about. So appreciate everybody here. Join the web link and we'll get started in a second. But yeah, we're pumped up. You know, we'll talk about this a lot. Market is definitely shifting, and we're going to tell our way and our insights on how to approach it and how to attack it. And nobody knows how long this window is going to last. It could be 6 months. It could be 2 years. But regardless, it's going to go quick. That's for sure. In my opinion, especially in Austin, jobs and people keep coming here, depending on what market you are in. Follow the fundamentals, and you got to seize these opportunities.
Yeah. Have you seen anything like this in the last 12 and a half years?
No, never seen a market like this. It's been very interesting. We have properties that we have listed that definitely aren't selling for what we thought they were. And then on the flip side, we're buying properties way lower than we would have expected 6 months ago or a year ago. And got a lot of insights from different people in the market, builders, developers, and it's going to be very fascinating to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, there's a lot of builders out there willing to sell for less than they've got in the actual build, what they paid to build these houses.
Yeah, I mean, we got a really great buyer right now. It's buying from builders. I talked to a really high up title rep today. He does $4 billion in transactions a year. He's like,
through the title company?
Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot.
Nobody's even close to him.
No.
But he's got a lot of insights, and he's like, look, and depending on where you're coming from, we're in Texas, right? We're in Austin. He said, hey, we're in the best state in the country, and we're in the best city in the best state, and we're the best country.
Mhm.
So, we're very blessed to be here in Austin. And like I said, there's only a small window for this. So now's the time to be getting after it.
Yeah.
I actually had an agent, one of our agents that works with us, texted me, and she said, I got a comment from a listing agent that they're getting a lot of offers from TRE agents, low offers.
Yeah.
And he actually said, thank you. Did you see this? He said, he said, thank you because you're getting the sellers to be a little bit more realistic.
Nice.
I was like, all right,
Yeah, like,
we
so
got a compliment.
So you read every offer?
Yeah, there we go.
You're talking about the post in the Facebook group?
No, that was one of them. I can read this real quick. I think it's pretty cool. So she says, an agent I talked to today laughed when I said I was with Teifke. He said, man, you guys are aggressive. Y'all are at my showings and making offers on all my listings. He said, we actually expect you are actually making an impact on the market because we're getting sellers to be more realistic on what their home is worth. Thought that was cool and wanted to share it with you.
Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah. So we're making an impact. We got a lot of hustlers out there. A lot of negativity that you deal with, but
yeah,
the negativity is much less now. It's really fascinating.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's sellers and people represent. It's hard to be negative when it's true.
Right. I mean, people are willing to have conversations. Like every agent I talked to today, 5-10 minute conversation, and much more relaxed than what it was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
They were just so much in the mindset of like, go, that it's like, hey, what do you want? What do you need? Make the offer. Let's go. Get off the phone. Right. Now they're willing to sit there and have a conversation.
Yeah. Well, and when you do get negativity right now or pushback on, the house is worth way more than that. It's like, is it?
Right.
I mean,
it's
been listed at that price for a while now. Is it worth that much? I don't know.
And people are still stuck on that. They're saying, this price is below market value, but how can it be below market value if it's active and it's available?
Right. What is market value? I mean, if I'm the only one offering this, then am I above market value?
Right. Yeah, potentially.
All right, guys. So thank you for joining tonight. We do want to make you an offer tonight for joining. We're launching a wholesale course next week at the start of January. It is a jumpstart to wholesaling. For those who've never wholesaled anything before, for those who want to take advantage of wholesaling as an exit strategy for some of these deals in 2023 and make big wholesale fees. Matt and I and our partners, we made $700,000 plus wholesale fees. These opportunities are going to be available in 2023, and you need to have this in your arsenal as an exit strategy. So we're offering this course to you tomorrow, and when it launches next week, it's on pre-sale right now, but next week when it launches, it's going to be $997. But tonight we're offering it to everybody here on the webinar only for 80% off. It's going to be $199. So the way that you can get this is Kat's going to post the link for the pre-sale in the comments, and there's a coupon code for the 80% off. It's going to be TRE, all lowercase. It'll get you the 80% off. It's like $779 off the price that we're going to be offering it at. In this course, you're going to learn about how to find deals, how to find sellers, how to establish and build a wholesale team of realtors, title reps, lenders, everything that you're going to need to have a successful wholesale company. It's going to teach you how to find motivated sellers, how to skip trace lists of motivated sellers. It's going to teach you how to negotiate with these sellers, how to contact them, negotiate them, get them under contract, analyze the deal, market the deal out to end buyers, go under contract with end buyers, and see it all the way through title to closing to collecting your wholesale fee. We want to offer it just to you guys tonight for joining the webinar, 80% off, $199. Go to the link, and it is TRE coupon code, all lowercase. Tomorrow, coupon is not going to be available, and next week when it launches, and tomorrow if you try and buy it pre-sale, it's going to be $997. So you got to get it tonight.
Yeah, I think it's great, and even if you're licensed, a lot of brokers say don't wholesale. We're not about it. You can wholesale. Like Alex said, it's a tool And this is a great course that we've put a lot of time into. We've lived it. We've done this ourselves. So we're here to be a resource. If you guys want it, it's available.
Yep. And it's just one exit strategy, but it is a good exit strategy. We utilize it often, and we always approach every deal and see, what would be a price that we would wholesale this at versus buy it versus whatever the option is. Cool.
Yeah. So guys, reach out if you have any interest in that. And then I think we're going to dive in, right?
Yep. Let's dive in.
So we're going to talk about
how to find deals in a recession. So let's first talk about, if you want to, I guess, kind of what it's been like and how hard it's been to find deals the last 5 years.
Yeah. Great question. We built a brokerage, a lot of good real estate professionals and entrepreneurs. What do we have? Maybe about 170 or so?
60, yeah.
160. And that's been one big key to finding opportunities. And the reason I say that is it's been really hard. Like, it's super competitive. There's a lot of wholesalers that's all they do. There's a lot of realtors in general, 16,000 realtors, right? And so we're competing with all these realtors, all these wholesalers, investors in general. And one way that we found success was we built a army, in a sense, of entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
So we had reach with having, a small percentage of those 16,000 agents. We also had wholesalers that worked with us that had their license, but they pretty much did wholesaling full time. So that was a big aspect of what we did, was we had a lot of reach, we had a lot of people, which led to deal flow.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how?
What you're talking about specific with the team?
Yeah.
Well, and that's just one aspect too, right? So that's, if we're to look at deal flow, and TRE being here, the brokerage and our team here was just one aspect of deal flow coming in, right? So we also had all of your networking meetings, all the people you'd meet with, all the connections that you'd have, and that would be this deal flow here, right? Then it would be like analyzing every single deal and making an offer on every single deal that a wholesaler would send us. So they keep sending us deals, keep networking, keep trying to help people move their deals, offers on the MLS, cold calling, so on and so forth, right? But like the brokerage is just one small little aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, let's walk through it all. When you started, what was your process
For finding deals?
Yeah.
So when you and I first started for off market,
Well, whatever you think. I mean,
so with off market specifically, what we were doing, the first thing you had me do was you had me putting out bandit signs, and
classic.
you had me putting out bandit signs, and then you gave me the foreclosure list, and you're like, hey, go knock on 10 of these doors or all of these doors or whatever, right? So that was one aspect. And then shortly after this, I started getting a lot more interested. We're looking on like Facebook Marketplace and things like that. But then we started setting up that first cold calling system. You remember?
Yep.
Back at your house,
Yep.
out on Carolyn. And we were pulling lists of, pre-foreclosures, probate, divorce, high equity, all different types of potentially motivated sellers. And we had our cold call system. And the unfortunate thing here is we didn't have a good follow-up system in place. We cold called a lot, but I feel like we gave up too quick on the follow-up with a lot of these leads, because I called them like a year later. Some of the ones that we said were interested, and most of them sold their house, but they didn't sell them to us.
Right.
So this would have worked really well if we had a good follow-up system in place. And then we hit the MLS.
Was that Mojo?
It was at the time it was Call Tools,
Okay.
and then we hit the MLS.
So of these, I mean, Bandit and Knocking. Bandit works. Knocking works better, in my opinion.
Yep. I don't think we got any deals from. We did get one deal from a Bandit sign.
What was that?
It was the one in Taylor off like East 6th Street. You remember?
Land?
No, it was a house and it was like a tear down.
Okay.
We ended up not moving it. I would take these Bandit signs. I mean, we tried in Round Rock, but I would even keep them when they wouldn't work necessarily, you know, and we had a bunch of them. We had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. So I would always keep some in my car and like, if we were going out of town or something, or if we were driving to, you know, College Station for my sister's graduation, in all these towns along the way, we'd stop and I'd post Bandit signs in every just town.
Well, I think that would be good. I mean, we can talk about TRE, but let's start with your process on when you got into business, because you just started finding deals day one, right?
Yeah.
And that was in a hot market. Like maybe walk through. I know you did all this, but walk through like your experience and how you got started finding these deals.
Well, this is how.
Yeah, I know, but like, you know,
so like with Bandit signs, right? The goal was to try and get people to call in. We didn't get a whole lot. I would get people who called in and said they're investors and that they would, you know, buy deals from us if we found them. Door knocking, these were pre-foreclosures. So these are people going into pre-foreclosure, or they're in pre-foreclosure. They're about to get foreclosed on. And I would go knock on the door and just tell them, hey,
yeah,
my name's Alex. Nice to meet you. At this time, you were working with Kevin too.
Yep.
And so Kevin had like little door hangers and stuff that y'all had. So he would send me off with some of these door hangers. And if somebody didn't answer when I was door knocking, I would just hang them on the door. I don't know if y'all got any calls from that, but I would door knock, say, hey, Matt, my name's Alex. You know, I'm here about the house. You know, I understand that you're going through a tough time right now. You know, we can help out. Here's how. Never bought a deal. Didn't really know how we were actually going to, you know, step by step help out, but I knew that we could stop the foreclosure, come in and help these people out. So that was how, right? Cold calling, same thing. Hey, Matt, this is Alex. I'm calling about, you know, 123 Main Street. Do you have any interest in selling the house? And run through that system. And MLS low offers.
What is there?
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, was there anything else, like? Because I know you were doing a lot of offers, right?
Yeah. So when we got here, so we were, you and me were testing these out to try and find like our flywheel of like, all right, which one of these is going to work? You're really busy at the time. I was not busy and I was coming out of, you know, the other business. And so, but you're really busy with Edge and Stone Oak. And so we were trying to figure out, all right, what's the flywheel system that is going to, you know, consistently generate some of these deals for us. And I mean, like I said, this requires a lot of time to do it. Bandit signs, you're waiting on somebody to call you. And the cold call system, it was great. And I think it like blew your mind when we first set this up, because it was, you know, it was so easy to talk to people.
Right.
And like we were calling with one of these cold calling dialers, you can call up to like 3 to 10 people at a time. And so, you know, and you had a lot of things to pitch, right? Like when we first did it, I was like, you know, we're trying to buy some deals, but you're like, cool, you don't want to sell your house? Well, like, we got a property management company, you know, how many other properties do you own? And so, but like I said, where we made a mistake here is we didn't have the follow-up system in place. And I think we missed out on a lot. And so we were working through this. Okay, what should we keep doing? And it also cost us money too. So you and I were putting money and investing into this, which isn't much, but at the time when
it adds up.
Yeah, it adds up. And like, all right, well, let's just try the MLS. Like all these people, you know, you sat me down, you're like, hey, let's meet. And let's go over how to write offers on the MLS. Like you just showed me what the MLS was. You're like, here's a template for a contract.
Yep.
Just fill out these couple boxes. Don't worry about any of that.
Yep.
And you're like, just offer real low.
Mhm.
And so then from there, I mean, that's super simple and easy. It's like, Matt's got this property listed at 400,000. Cool. 280. Boom. Contract sent. Hey, Matt, please see attached contract. Would love to get a deal done. Please let us know. And then over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah. Well, and the template made it real simple and easy. And we got it down to where we could get an offer out in like 3 minutes. And so in an hour, you could knock out a bunch.
Yeah. And so what I've always been told is like, whatever is the hardest is what the least amount of people are doing is the easiest way. And I'm not so sure that I agree with that, because I would say the hardest is probably knocking,
Yeah.
because nobody wants to do that, right?
Yeah.
We don't really do that much. And then the other thing that's interesting about Alex is you weren't necessarily so tied to the results as you were like, I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, it was in this moment.
Like, he didn't give up after 10 offers, 20 offers, 50 offers, 100 offers.
Yeah. Well, the ultimate goal here was to buy deals and to invest in real estate or make money in some way with real estate.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what all these processes were, it was just learning, right? Like at that time, I knew about as much about real estate as anybody else who's read a book and listened to a podcast, which is, a fair amount in terms of like, this is how you ensure a good return on real estate. And here are the different ways to buy real estate. And here's what you should look out for when buying real estate. And here's different types of real estate businesses. But, getting in the mix here and putting in the action, you learn a lot of other things that it's impossible to learn by listening to a podcast. You got to experience it. You got to pick up on people's, body language. You got to pick up on certain things in certain situations that you otherwise, wouldn't learn from a podcast. But so I wasn't caught up in the results. Like we did this for a long time without, we bought our first deal together that we didn't get from any of these in 2018. A wholesaler brought it to us. And so bought the first property, and then it was like, we were doing a mixture of these things for like the following 10 months after we bought the first one without any results. And then we bought the second deal 10 months later. But I wasn't caught up in the results. The goal was to learn. The goal was to get better. The goal was to figure out, okay, what works, what doesn't work. How are we going to build this system here? How are we going to set it up? And you don't build the system overnight.
Right.
And you got to figure it out and build it.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting. I'd love to hear your thought. Because looking back now on everything, we kind of, to your original question, we shifted more from deal finding into the brokerage to get agents to be doing all this stuff. That's what our goal was, right? And what we learned is that there's only a few true hustlers, and that's what you have to do to get these deals done.
Yeah.
This is a small portion of it. We're going to get into much more detail, but looking back, if you knew what you knew then, you probably would have gone a little bit slower. All those offers that you were making, you would have built a database of who's buying, who's selling, who are the good realtors, right? Versus just on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. Because there's
yes and no.
Like you find these realtors, we got a few, Alice, right? You find the Alices.
Yeah.
And you call them and they're deal makers.
Right,
and you
for
say
sure.
like, what do you got going on? And they're out there.
Well, the thing is you find those people. So I agree with you, but at the same time, looking back, I wouldn't have spent too much more time there. Like there's definitely little tweaks here or there. Like, sure, even if it's just a spreadsheet, make note of the good realtors.
Well, because we're getting into this more now, right? Like we're doing Salesforce for offers.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like at that point in time, it was most important that I did just get out there and to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next,
Right.
as opposed to spending the whole time like designing this roadmap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And not like ever taking action in the roadmap.
Right.
But because we've taken all that action, we went. Now, like looking from the top view, it's like, okay, cool. Here is how this can actually plug in here, because, without knowing that information, you wouldn't know how this Salesforce piece can plug in here to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we shifted from doing a lot of this, which is what our core is like finding opportunities, to building out the brokerage to have an army finding deals. Now we're going back to this in a sense. And I think the big point of this, hey, this recession is coming, is that these things were much harder than they are now.
Yeah.
Like now, all of these things, right?
Yeah. I mean,
door knocking is much more welcomed.
Right.
Right. And all, like, even cold calling. And I don't know if less people are doing it or not. That would be interesting. Then how, because there was a lot of people doing this.
For sure. I'm sure there is, but a lot of people are hurting right now.
Right.
So that's the other aspect, is sellers over the last 5 years. Like I said, you buy a house in June of 2020. I mentioned this earlier on Twitter Spaces. You bought a house in June of 2020. In June of 2021, if you bought it in 2020 June for 200 grand, in June 2021 it was worth 282,000.
Right.
The median sales price went up 41%.
Landowners were just making up prices.
Yeah.
They were like, this is 75,000 an acre.
Right.
120,000 an acre. Like, they're just making it up.
Didn't you hear Samsung was coming? Did I say 75? I meant to say 150.
Yeah.
And
straight up.
And they were just making up prices. And so, when you're cold calling those people, then they just laugh at you.
Right.
Why would I sell my house? And also the other thing too, then was, if I sell you my house, where am I going to go?
Right.
Like, I can't go put in an offer with the other 50 people who just, put an offer on my neighbor's home. So there was that. And there was a bunch of competition. This was the house real estate market in the United States. And there's a tremendous amount of competition here. And the MLS offers, we did it, we still did it. But they'd laugh at you.
We kind of stopped.
Yeah, it was a mixture of a lot of things.
It got really crazy where it really was pointless.
Yeah, you had to have the sniper approach of finding, those unique properties. And it wasn't necessarily pointless, but the shotgun approach to the builders, for example, or whomever, builders cut all the realtors' commissions.
Right.
Every seller could do what they wanted. But now, like you're saying, it's more welcome. There's a lot of people hurting. A lot of people are underwater. There's a lot of people who maybe lost their job. They got laid off. They have to sell their house. Maybe they had an adjustable rate for some reason, and their mortgage just jumped up and they can't afford their mortgage anymore. Yeah. Or the other bad part is that due to the last few years of price increases, is property taxes doubled, tripled in some cases, right? So now your property taxes are triple what they were.
Yeah.
And you lost your job, and your house just went down $200,000 in value. And so you're really, in trouble.
Your stocks are down.
Your stocks are down, everything. Yeah. So it's more welcome now, I believe, because of all of those things.
And the herd mentality is so real.
Yeah.
Like, back to the landowner wanting to get a crazy price. Mm-hmm. Now realtors are telling their clients, market's bad. Everyone's saying the market's so bad.
Yeah.
And so now everyone's thinking so negatively.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's you turn on the news. And I think this was an actual, I was listening to Bloomberg this morning, financial news, and they were saying that, they say it every morning. It's on, I'm sure, I don't watch Fox or whatever, but I'm sure it's on those news channels too. The housing crisis and the market's going to crash. And Bloomberg had some piece of data where it was like the steepest decline in some housing data ever, which is probably true. I think it might have been either, builds or new purchases or something, but
Yeah.
they're hearing all this stuff too from everybody else. And then their coworkers are like, man, I hope you didn't buy in Austin last year.
Right.
Like,
Right.
So it is the herd
There was a lot of
mentality.
competition. You look at it now, and Open Door and Orchard, they own a lot of these properties,
Yeah, great amount.
and they weren't as active in a lot of cities as they were in Austin. So they really drove up the prices. They took up a lot of inventory.
Mhm. Yeah, they did. And they're holding a lot of inventory
Right.
now. So you're asking me kind of what I was doing to find deals.
Yeah, it's interesting to go through kind of our history and evolution. Like I said, deal finding to brokerage to now back to deal finding. And then we can get into very specifics of what each of us are doing.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, that's what we were doing. Was this is what we love doing. We are deal makers.
You gotta love it. You gotta love knocking on a door and going through that fear. Your heart gets racing a little bit. You don't really want to do it,
Yeah,
but that's
I mean,
why you gotta.
we
do
could
it.
play like the recording I sent you last night. Like you gotta love somebody calling you and
I was gonna call her today and just kind of mess with her. Like, are you serious? One of our agents made a low offer. Oh man, I'm gonna get on that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna be like, they really did that?
What were they thinking? They offered below. That is ridiculous.
Here, I'll see if I can play it. I don't think it says any names or anything.
I really was. I was gonna call and do that for one of our videos.
All right, here we go. Let's listen here. You gotta love having these conversations. People calling and bitching you out and getting upset because you're trying to find deals.
Okay. You sent an offer at 275.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you doing that?
Well, that's just where the buyer needs to be at.
Well, tell your buyer to go find a home in their price point. That's ridiculous.
Okay, thanks, Rita.
We had a much better offer than that, like way more, and they turned it down. Are you kidding?
Okay.
I mean, this is, that's bad business all the way around.
Anyways.
You don't feed the chaos. You notice how Alex didn't fight back.
Yeah, well, there's no point in fighting back. And if it's still listed there a month from
They
now,
will change their tone.
yeah, I mean, hey, I offered 275 a month ago. Y'all dropped the price 3 times now. It's sat there for a month. We're only 20K off now. Do you think we can get this thing done? Or
Yeah. Well, it's like that.
but the buyer needs to be at 225 now.
That other agent said we're helping these other agents because we're making people somewhat more realistic.
Yeah. But you do have to love it. I mean, it's fun. And especially when you can figure out how to take, like I was mentioning earlier with the cold calls, when you're able to take one call and turn it into 20 different opportunities.
Yeah.
Right. Because you and I at that time hadn't done a whole lot together for a long period of time. And now we have one phone call. You can turn that phone call into, oh, cool. Not interested in selling. Completely understand. Do you have any other opportunities available? Hey, we've got this fund looking to do this. Do you know any investors looking to invest in a fund? Do you know any clients looking for property management?
Yep. Because they're willing to have those conversations.
Right.
That's
And
the thing.
that they're willing to have the conversation, but also too, you having the knowledge to be able to take that conversation in many different ways. Right.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. So back to the main point of this, finding these deals is I'm finding them through and with other agents.
Yeah.
They're willing to have these conversations. I talked to a guy today and he said, this is owned by my sister and my ex brother-in-law. They're getting a divorce. Those conversations weren't taking place 6 months ago. It was just kind of bring me an offer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going a step further. And then it's back to what you said. You can direct these conversations. If the people are willing to talk, they're going to be deal makers. Find out what their clients are looking for. build the relationship. I try to say, hey, this is my best tactic. And we're kind of just sharing a lot of our secrets, but one today is listed at $499. It's listed at $499. It's not selling, right? Like, what do you think the market value is?
Yes.
Yeah. And they're instantly saying a number lower than $499.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
just, so then now, all right, now we've already negotiated 50K and I haven't even set a number.
Right.
And I tell them from the beginning, hey, we don't need a grand slam. We're not going to hit you. There's some agents out there hitting way lower than I am, which I'm finding out, which is great.
Yeah, that's good.
So, I mean, this one today, this is a real example, was $499. He said he thinks it's, he thinks market values. I said, what price do you think you'd get multiple offers within 10 days? He said 400. And then he said, we've gotten some other offers. I instantly say, what are those offers? He's got 240 cash. Dang, 240, man. I was going to be like 350.
Right.
240 is real low.
Right.
And then there's this level of
That one was Elliot.
Elliot, my man. There's this other aspect to this of being an agent and being an entrepreneur and throwing it out high enough to where you are going to get a counter to just have some kind of number that you can take to the market.
Correct.
So it's at $499. I might really want to buy it at, like, I personally would want to buy it at $350, but I'll say $440 to see if they say yes, or $460. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe I have a client that would want this.
Right. Yeah, it's the street smarts there,
Yeah.
right? You offer the 240, a lot of people won't even take it to a
The
counter.
240, yeah. And please don't get mad. Just delete the email.
Well, yeah.
I
the
just don't
240.
understand why people get so mad. I can't understand that.
Yeah.
I would never get mad. Like, we have two properties that we own for sale. And if somebody offered me $100,000 and I get mad about it.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean,
they
it's
can offer me $10 and I'm not gonna get mad.
Hey, you want to come work with TRE?
Yeah.
I like your style.
So
The answer is no.
That's a big thing for me is finding these deals, is having these in-depth conversation with realtors, knowing how to be a true entrepreneur and how to take these conversations. And then back to what we always talk about, having a long-term approach.
Right. You said it was listed at $499?
Yep.
So $499. The offer, let's just talk about kind of like the strategic aspect of, what you're mentioning. So the offer of 240K, it's either an angry response, right? Angry. It's either, a lot of people, some people respond back with like LOL or ha ha ha
Or ignore.
Are you joking?
Yeah.
Or they ignore you, or they say no. And then when you get the no, the thing is you shouldn't be expecting yes here, right? When you make this, and what I want to talk about is you offering the 440, right? And why you did that versus this. But when you offer something this low and they say no, you don't want to just move on, right? The goal is to have a conversation. The goal is to get them talking. The goal is to say, okay, where do we need to be at, or where are they willing to come down to, or what can we, what can we do to get a deal done here? But when they say no here, with this offer being, $259,000 below list price, your list price is what, like 30% of the, your offer is 30% of 40% of the list price. When you say, okay, cool, like, do they have a counter? Typically the answer is no, right? But you came in here at 440 for what reason? You mentioned it.
Yeah, and also to be clear, these are best on a phone call.
Yeah.
And a real conversation.
Yeah.
An email can work, but it's really not going to get it done. But yeah, so I just threw out 440. That was just a random number, but I would really want to throw out some number. It would be a little bit lower than that because they would probably accept 440.
Okay. So you would offer.
I probably
don't offer 440.
Yeah, I'd probably offer one of my favorite numbers, 420.
Okay.
And then I would just hope to see where they stand. Knowing that they're probably not going to take it right away, they're not just going to say yes.
Right.
And knowing that I'm going to get some kind of number, but also if they take it, then, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this. And I'm knowing that, okay, there's something here.
Mhm.
Maybe I find another buyer or we wholesale it, back to the wholesale course, which is a great option. You have to know how to do this. And so it's just a strategy to get the conversation going, but to also know that if they accept it in 3 days or 4 days, I'm actually not accepting it.
Going down.
Yeah. I mean, they would
That
have
was
to,
3 days ago.
they'd have to accept this like right now.
Right.
But if they next day, day after, whenever, I'm going down. I mean, if I was at 240, then I'm taking it, right? But this is just a number to get them to the dance.
Right. And then you start dancing.
Start dancing.
And you figure out how far down you can dance, right? When does the music stop?
It's a game.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a game and you're working it all the way down. I have one that I'm working right now. It's a fourplex near Killeen. And they were at 360. I think we offered 270.
Mm-hmm.
They came back, no, we can't do it. I think they said we can't do it, but we could get it done at 3. And I was like, okay. Reached out to some people who I figured knew Killeen better than I did.
Mm-hmm.
I said, 3's like, okay, it's probably about market value.
Mm-hmm.
If with the rents being at where they were. And so I just sent another one. I was like, all right, 285. And they came back, they wanted to adjust some terms. And I was like, well, it's really not that good. I don't think we can get there. We probably have to stick to 270. And she calls back today.
Mm-hmm.
And really sweet, cool lady. And she's like, the realtor badly wants to get the deal done.
Yeah.
She's like, I need this commission.
Yeah.
She's like, let's figure out a way to get this done. Let's work together. Like, you go work with your client. I'll go work with my client. I've got other listings. Like, I'd love to do deals with you guys. But it's just interesting how, these conversations can happen. And like, when, they started at 3, then they were at 285. I was like, nah. Then they're like, okay, like, what do we need to do to get this deal done? And you start working the dance all the way down to where the music stops and you got to deal a client or whatever might happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is just the time. I mean, these realtors need money. Sellers got to sell. The conversations are much more in depth. So my deal right now is just having a lot of conversations with realtors. Very in depth, follow up, stay in touch, just be nice, kind of come at it like, hey, what are you seeing in the market? What's your experience? And back to the herd mentality, it's all negative right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to do much selling on that.
Mm-hmm.
And back to your other point, what Alex said is like, we're making the offer. We're the only offer. We might be high. We might not be, but like, we're setting the market in a sense.
Yeah.
Because there's just not a lot of buyers right now.
It's just
it's hard to be buying.
I hold my tongue. But like, I hear it all the time. It's like, that is way below market value. And I should be like, well, obviously what you got it listed at is not market value. Because
You have it listed way above.
It's
And
not selling.
And
So
you've already dropped it $100K.
what do you think market value is? Like 10K above my offer? Because where you got it listed, it obviously ain't market value.
Yeah.
But
No, it's good. That's back to the don't feed me.
Yeah. It's just funny. But you got to have these conversations with realtors, and it's not a, singular, like we're saying, of like, hey, Matt, 240, I know it's listed 499 cash, let's get it done. You're probably not going to get many of those deals done. But when you come and you're like, hey, Matt, what do you think this thing's worth?
Yeah.
And you have this conversation and you have this dance and you build a relationship and you establish rapport with this person and y'all try and work this deal together.
Yeah.
And to get a deal done, because they do want to get paid. They do want to represent their client well. I was talking to a realtor. A lot of these sellers aren't in great positions either, and they need to sell.
Yeah.
I was talking to a realtor yesterday, and we made an offer that was below what their payoff is.
Mm-hmm.
and our offer, it was like a cheap house. I mean, it was listed for like, it wasn't in Austin. It was like 280 or something. We offered, I forget, like 190 or something, but it was below her payoff. I was like, is this seller under? She's like, we can't accept that. You know, it's not enough to, she was like, we could consider a short sale. Like, I just have to go to the bank and see if they would consider, you know, accepting it. It's like, are they underwater? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay,
I'm
cool.
gonna text the agent right now. See if
Which one?
keep talking. Just Amber, this girl I've been dealing with.
So the seller has this house, and what I offered was below their payoff. So they're underwater. They have to sell this house. In order to sell the house, they have to at least cover the payoff for the lender, or they're gonna have to come out of pocket at closing to pay off the lender the remaining balance. And so I asked her, I said, well, hey, would this seller consider letting us assume the mortgage where it's at? If I'm like $5K below the payoff, then let me assume the mortgage at the payoff. If it makes sense, maybe the interest rate on this mortgage that she has in place would be way less than anything that we could get today. And even if I'm 100% leveraged based on what I paid for it and what the loan that I'm assuming is, if the mortgage makes sense and we can figure out a way to make this work as a rental and get it to cash flow, then we're good. We'll ride this out for the next 5+ years till, you know, prices start turn around and we've got a good amount of equity in it. So another way, and you can find these deals on the MLS. We made 30K commission from one earlier this month.
Yep.
Yeah. Earlier this month, we made a 30K commission from
the MLS, and then we wholesale it.
No, it was a commission. We represented the buyer.
Yep.
But an investor came in and we represented the buyer, got paid a 30K commission, and we helped them assume this mortgage from the seller. Seller underwater was getting offers below what their payoff was. And so this is what you can do is you can assume a mortgage. You can assume a loan. You can assume loans. And so what this means is what's a conventional mortgage rate right now?
Probably like 5.5.
5.5?
Yeah, I mean,
Buying down the rate?
Yeah, it depends. Like if you're
Look it up.
primary homeowner, you know, first time
Yeah.
home buyer, or it's investment. But I
Right.
think you can get 5.5.
Really?
Maybe not. I mean,
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great credit, 20% down.
Let's see. Mortgage rate. Mortgage rate today. What's a hard money rate today?
11, 12.
Yeah. Average rates. Sure, it depends on what loan programs and rate buy downs. Let's call it, for safe measure, 7.5.
Sure.
All right. So if the average is 7.5% interest, so if you were to go and buy a house today and you were to get a 7.5% interest rate, but this loan that you're assuming has an interest rate locked in at 3.25%. You can come in, assume this loan, and own this property and have this loan right here without having to go through the loan process, get approved as a buyer, pay any origination points, buy down your rate to, you know, it'd be a tremendous amount of money to buy your rate down to here. And you can come in and you can assume this existing loan that's in place, assuming, you know, the seller's existing loan. And that's what this buyer did. And that's what I asked this listing agent if we could do too.
Yeah.
So if, like, you know, if I offered 190K cash, let's say their payoff was, you know, 193, and the seller ultimately just needs to get out of this house, and she does it for whatever reason, can't pay the mortgage anymore. 3.25 What's the mortgage rate on? What's the payment on that?
On this,
Yeah, three and a quarter.
let me think
Approximately.
about this. Probably like 1,200, 1,100.
Just principal and interest.
Yeah,
1,100.
I think so.
All right, so let's say just principal and interest. You know, we've got 1,100 here as our principal and interest mortgage payment on a 3 and a quarter.
Just to give you insight, like I always would do at like a 4.5. I would say it's $700 per 100,000, but that would be taxes and insurance.
Right, and taxes might have gone up a little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit since then.
right.
Yeah, you told me that before. 700 per 100,000.
Yeah,
So 2,800, $400,000 house.
yeah.
Which is actually, yeah, it's still about accurate.
It's close.
Yeah. Like when I ran the numbers on Carolyn, is depending on tax and insurance, 2832. So, all right, let's say
Real quick, so you got to know this stuff. This is important. This is why he's pointing this out. To be able to take these conversations in different directions. If you don't understand this, you can't have a much more detailed conversation.
right.
That's why this is important.
Well, for sure. But also too, if you're making that offer and you go out and you're speaking to real estate agents and you're making that offer and you offer 190 and their payoff's 193, when they come back and they tell you, sorry, that's too low, that's less than they own the property, what are you gonna say? Be like, okay, cool, well, good luck.
Right.
Instead of being able to say, cool, can we assume this mortgage? What are the other options we have? And you want to help this person out. If whether it's listed or not, and you're speaking to sellers, your goal should be able to help them out of their situation and come up with a win-win scenario for both you guys.
That's the only way the deal is going to get done.
Right. But you have to help them and solve their problem. And if me and Matt are both going to this seller here, and Matt is figuring out a way to solve her problem, and I'm not able to solve her problem, then Matt's going to get the deal done.
Yep.
So
we had a lady today that my mom called, and she's got 20,000 reinstatement fee. She doesn't want to sell the property, and I'm like, there's some equity, and I'm like, man, we got people that would lend her 20K and get paid back 40K, and have the right to buy the house if she doesn't pay them back.
Right.
So you got to figure out these other ways to approach these deals.
Did she take it?
Probably.
She better get busy. She's got
a couple of days.
She got one day.
Well, Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month.
Yeah. Well, Monday's a bank holiday.
Yeah.
So they ain't working.
You can buy it all the way up until the last minute.
Yeah. Well, if the bank will answer your call and process the payment and reinstate the loan and everything and pull it from the list.
Yeah. Sure.
But I was just saying, she better get busy. I talked to her last night. I was like, I'll be praying for you and wish you the best of luck. And if you change your mind, you just let us know and we're here. But you got to make a decision.
Yeah.
But she's gonna figure something out.
Got to.
So where was I at?
So you're talking about assuming the loan at the 3.25 when your typical rate at the time would be right now 7.5.
Yeah. So I offer 190 cash. She owes 193. Obviously 190 cash isn't going to work. But if I say, cool, well, can I assume this loan that you have in place? I'll take the deed. For whatever reason, she wants to sell this house. Maybe she just got a divorce. Maybe something happened. Maybe she has to move across the country to go be with her grandmother.
Yeah.
Who knows? People are always going through random situations. And for whatever reason, she has to sell this house and she has to move. Emotionally, personally, for her job, for whatever. And I say, okay, 190 cash won't work. You owe 193. Can I just assume this $193,000? You're not going to make any money on it anyways. Instead of coming to closing with $3,000 and anything else, let me just assume this mortgage here for $193,000. I'll take over your $1,100 monthly payments. We'll do this all properly. We'll have a third-party processor. Payments will get paid on time every time. I'll take ownership of the house. I'll get the deed. I'll take over the mortgage, and I'll make these payments every month. Moving on. You can just move on. Go ahead and take care of what you need to take care of. Let's say that the mortgage is $1,100. It's in some random city, or I don't remember where it was at, but let's say we can get $1,800 in rents. Say our mortgage is $1,100. Let's say, taxes and insurance are $2,000, $4,000, $6,000. Let's say they're $500 a month total for taxes and insurance. Mortgage. All right, so that puts us at 1,600. And then let's say management / maintenance is $200 a month. And so here I'm breaking even. So at the end of the day, I walk away with $0 in monthly cash flow. But I just got this house for free.
Yeah. And there's all different ways. I don't think people get creative enough to work these deals. I mean, what did we think this house was worth?
I don't know.
Let's just say 250. So you didn't really get it for free.
Yeah,
right?
true.
I'm just
I'm talking about money in.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, because if it was worth this, you still might do this deal.
If it was worth,
Yeah.
why not? I mean,
Yeah.
even at a very minimum, the tenants can be paying down, let's say $500 a
It's
month
going to go
towards
up in
principal.
value, you get the tax write-off. But the thing that I wanted to point out is that you can get really creative with these deals. And let's say these numbers were a little bit different, and say it was 2,200 in rent.
Right.
Maybe you take over the payment, but you also pay her $100 a month for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. $25. I mean, you can work these deals.
For sure.
You can pay them, the Christmas clothes. I've told you about this.
Yeah, there's a portfolio of houses that we try to get.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we'll pay you $25K every Christmas. Doesn't that sound nice? That's where it gets fun, but you have to understand all these variables.
The recent buyer we just helped this month assume that mortgage from the house that's on the MLS. The seller agreed to pay part of their mortgage,
Right?
$100 something bucks.
We're working on one like that right now with Jerry.
Nice.
He
wanted to get out from underneath it so bad that he let him assume the mortgage completely, didn't make any money at closing, and he agreed to pay part of the new buyer's mortgage for however many following months.
Yeah. The other thing, what was I just gonna?
Getting creative, knowing how to have these deals.
There's just so many variables. Jerry's doing one right now. It gets fun. You're offering a solution. I'll remember what I was going to say. But there's so many ways to work these deals. And the point is, with the recession, with the way things are, these conversations are much more likely to take place.
Yeah, for sure. And this information, as well as being able to take this right here. And so here's the other thing. If I bought it, sure. Or we bought it, sure. Or somebody else buys it, sure. We bring a client to it. You could take this deal right here and wholesale it to somebody.
That's what I was going to say. You can wholesale it and you take over this 1,100, but then you flip it, and this is something that you can learn through that course that we have for 1,300. And then you're just making the 200 a month.
Yeah, you're talking about wrapping it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You essentially, you're doing a wrap. There's so many variables, and you got to get the one term to know when there's these foreclosures is, the first question I asked that lady was, what's the reinstatement fee and how much do you owe? Got to get the reinstatement fee, find out what they owe, and then just get in there and figure out, how am I going to solve this problem with them? Maybe back to being creative, maybe they stay on as a partner.
Yeah.
Maybe, you do this deal with everything Alex said, $0 in, but they keep 25%.
Right. If you got a good partner.
If you got a good partner, yeah, careful who you partner with.
Yeah, so you could take this deal or any deal, and when you have the information of, let's throw them out there. Give me some exit strategies. These are all the ways you're going to be able to make money in a recession. It starts with the deal. The most important thing is the deal. The next thing is figuring out how to take that deal in any of these different exit strategies and make money.
Yeah, and the deal, just to hit on it, is talking to people. Everything that we mentioned plus 10,000 other things, right? It's just people. Talking to people, understanding what's going on, having a network. Exit strategies, you can assign the deal, wholesale. You just take it down yourself and you just own it. You JV and you bring on a partner to own it with you. You flip it.
I'll get to flip it here in a second.
Yeah. You JV partner with the owner or with a new, partner as well.
Yeah.
What else we got?
If you're licensed.
Yeah, your license, you just make the commission. You either list it and get the listing commission, or you represent the buyer and get the buyer's commission. You get the commission and throw your commission in towards ownership with the other buyer. So now you are doing a JV essentially as a realtor without putting any money into it.
Yeah, so that'd be like you bringing a deal to me, an investor, and saying, or me doing it to you, hey, Matt, I got this deal. I got my 3% commission baked in. Let me buy it with you. I'll put in my 3% into the deal and have that equity, as my partner in the deal with you.
Yeah. Do a wrap.
Oh yeah. All the seller finance.
Subject to seller finance.
Subject to seller finance.
And this is back to being an entrepreneur. I mean, if you have your license and you don't understand these things, I think you're missing a lot, probably like 80% of the value of what's really possible.
Bigger deals, raise some capital.
Maybe you just manage it. You don't even own it. You just manage it.
And why would you do that?
You'll build up steady income. You'll be closer to the deal.
Maybe you get free equity for managing it.
Yep.
And a deal with somebody.
Yep.
All right. Any others you think of? We got wholesale it, buy it, JV.
You could be the lender. You could be the hard money lender and lend the person the money where they can keep the deal. You could just be the money on the deal.
Yeah, if you're a hard money lender, you would make so much money as a lender if you were out there finding deals and bringing deals to your investors. Be like, hey guys, I got this deal right here. I'll lend on it. I'll get you a good rate. You guys need to take this down.
Right.
You'd be the best lender in your office.
Yeah.
All right. So wholesale, buy it, JV, partner with somebody, flip it, get a commission on it, buy it via subject to seller finance, wrap it, all these creative financing here, raise some capital and buy it, manage it, get free equity or manage it and make your management fee, be the lender on it.
Yep. So I can think of, there's a lot of different ways to work all of these deals.
Right.
And to structure them.
Right.
I think we hit them all. Comment if we missed something.
But it starts with the deal. It starts with the deal and it starts with one conversation.
So when you're having this conversation, all of these things are in our mind of questions that we ask, answers that we receive, and directions that we're going to take the conversation.
Right. And you have to be able to walk that dance, so the dance and the negotiations start here, and here is the dance. And then as soon as you see an exit strategy open, boom, okay, cool, this is my route. Or maybe you thought that was the route and this is the route. Or boom, over here's now the route. You start walking that conversation down, you work the deal down, and then you find one of these exit strategies and you figure out how to make money on it. And by the way, some of the best deals we've had didn't start with the first conversation here on that deal. Maybe we spoke to Alice, for example, on some other deal that didn't work out. But and none of these exit strategies worked for that first conversation there with that person. But we explained what we did. We built a good relationship, and then boom, the next time we have a conversation with another deal, we make that match and it works.
Exactly.
So just because an exit strategy doesn't work for the deal, don't ruin this conversation right here. Stay in touch, build a good relationship, build good rapport with them, and make other deals happen with them.
Yep. Brilliant.
All right. Let's see. Y'all want to dive into some Q&A? Do we have any questions? We've explained it all. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the comments. I do want to talk about flipping. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, or give me a call.
There you go.
Give me a call, baby.
So flipping deals right now. I was talking about this earlier. How do you feel about flipping deals?
I don't,
today?
Yeah, I mean, my thought process is you don't want to be a seller.
No.
So if at any, you just don't want to sell when things are down. And if any opportunity to not sell and to keep a property, don't do it. So I don't recommend it, honestly.
Yeah.
Unless you're obviously getting a crazy how
Do you know the I wish I should have pulled this data before we came in here, but do you know how far down prices have gone from the top of the market?
No, but if I had a guess, I'd say 25.
So far, median sales price down 25%.
That's my guess. Yeah. When you
That
think
sounds
about
about right.
things were at, like, Carolyn, we would have sold for 460.
Yeah.
Now it probably sell for 350.
Right.
That's in that range.
Well, we pulled the data yesterday. I think the median sales price in Austin was what, 440?
Yeah, so 440. Yeah.
Something like that. It used to, I think, be 560.
Yeah.
So let's say we've lost 25% so far. I don't know if that's the number or not, but give or take, let's say we lost 25% so far. I mean, at some point, we're going to hit some sort of bottom and we're going to rebound up. Unless, I was telling Kat about this term earlier, unless it's a dead cat bounce and we start going back down further.
Yeah.
But at some point, we're going to hit a bottom, and that could be right now. I don't know, but I wouldn't want to start buying flips, and I do. We like flipping deals, and I wouldn't want to start though until I feel like we've hit that plateau, because I need to know like where this bottom market value is. Because once we can safely establish, okay, for sure, here's market value, and here at a very minimum is where market value is going to be in 3 months, then we can start properly projecting, where we want to purchase these houses at, how much work we need to put into them for the amount that we're going to sell them for to make the profit that we're going to make. But if we buy here and we haven't hit that plateau yet, and we haven't started coming up yet, then we're just going to shoot right through that. And if I bought it here and I hold it for 3 months and I even try and sell it here at this price after I put all this work into it, but the market has continued to go down to this point, then we're losing money and you're stuck in a bad situation with an expensive hard money loan. So I would avoid flipping deals for forever if you can, and just keep everything if possible. But for sure right now, until we feel comfortable that we've hit that and we've at least evened out and the pain going down has stopped, but hopefully we've started coming up on that up end at the back end.
Yeah, I feel that personally. I feel like we're getting close.
I think so too.
Yeah, and every market's different, but in Austin, Texas, I feel like it.
The Austin ABOR median sales price has come down to where we were in March of 2021.
Yeah, it's a good number. It's a good thing to note.
That's what, like 21 months ago?
Yeah. We still have jobs and people coming here. we're going to have a massive shortage of properties again. Mark my words, builders are not building, as they're completely stopping. And so we're going to see a shortage in 6 to 8 months. So I think we got this window to find these deals and find these opportunities, and a couple deals can change your life.
Yep. Any comments?
Could you expand on what a JV partner is?
Sure.
Go ahead.
JV partner is just it's a joint venture partnership. So it's typically a one-off deal. You're not creating a, LLC. Well, it's an entity that you're creating, but it's not in a sense like we're going to go do all these deals. It's like, we're going to joint venture on this one opportunity, and you team up to take a specific property down as partners, figure out what your roles are, figure out responsibilities, what capital you're going to bring. You got to really make sure you vet your partner. It's a big deal. And it's just stands for joint venture partnership.
Yeah, show them a call with the realtor. I think that's who you tried calling.
Yeah, it is. Want to call?
Yeah. I
All
mean,
right, we'll do
it's a
one-
good
we'll
conversation
do-
to have on the phone for everybody here and now.
It could be, yeah. Let me step out real quick.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
go ahead. Do we have any other questions?
Talk about how you make offers on land, particularly figuring out what to offer.
Sure. So say the question one more time.
How do you make offer on land, and what do you decide to offer on it?
Yes. So on land, it depends. I mean, are we talking about 100 acres? We talking about a quarter acre? If you're looking at like a quarter acre lot and, a subdivision, you can look at the comps of what they're selling for nearby. So, if it is a lot in a neighborhood, you can see what other lots are selling for in that area. Land gets a little bit trickier. Lots get trickier because there's a few factors that come into play that determine its value. So its location, what is on the land, are there utilities running through the land? Is there an easement on the land that is going to prohibit you from being able to build on the land? What is the zoning of the land? What are you able to build on that lot? If a lot is zoned for multifamily versus single family versus mobile home versus et cetera, all these different zonings and utilities and frontage road and location all come into play to determine how much this piece of land is worth versus another one. 450.
Amber,
What's going on?
how are you?
I'm doing well. What's going on with you, man?
Not much. We're just trying to get some deals done this year.
Yes. All of it.
I appreciate you sending me all these opportunities. I just wanted to say thank you and just kind of give you, my opinion and just see if there's anything else we can figure out how to work on.
Yeah. What's going on? Talk to me, guys.
Yeah, I think, some of these are interesting, but we really need, for what I'm trying to do with this specific buyer and the way the market is, we really need really motivated. They don't need to be grand slams, but we need to be buying significantly lower than what we think other people would pay.
I mean, that one up in Round Rock where they'll take $30,000 less for the house and they've already done a price reduction is a good one. My friend Katie Jackson has.
Remind me which one that one was?
Did I may have not sent that to you. Hold on, let me look.
Yeah, Round Rock sounds very interesting.
Yeah, she won't post it on. She will not post this on MLS. Their bottom number is 315. They're listed at 345.
Okay.
Give me a second.
You don't think they would do 280 cash, close in 12 days?
I don't know. I could ask her. I just can't because I've been
Never
in,
trust
I've been
the
in
bottom
city
line.
for so long and I've known all these people forever. I can't send wholesale prices to clients or to agents. I just can't. I mean, you can shoot your shot, but
Yeah. Well, we're not, just to be clear, all these that we're looking at right now, we're not wholesaling them.
I know you're not, but y'all are at the price points y'all are trying to get them at are the same that the wholesalers are coming in at.
Yeah.
So
Well, the
Yeah,
market's
here's the
just, I mean, what are you seeing in the market? Like, it's changed a lot.
it's changed, and then if your clients are trying to make a quick buck, that's not real estate. Real estate takes 5 years to make money into. We're not dipping far. Like literally, if you come in $30,000-$40,000 under list and you sit on that for a year or two, you'll be fine. I know the city very well. Lived here
No,
my
it's
entire life.
totally. Me too. And I guess the thing is, I get it. It's just there are people that there are these opportunities that,
Oh, there are
Yeah.
100%. And literally, I know people that just call me. They're like, we have to get out. One that they absolutely have to get out of is that one in Austin's Colony. It will absolutely appraise for well over 300,000. Their
Yeah.
bottom number is 275. If you pick that up at
It's no
275 and
money.
close in 12 days, I have a guy
It's
that can
worth
move
300
in
and you buy
tomorrow.
$275.
Put a contract in, and he can pay $2,000, which is over what everything else in the entire neighborhood is renting at. And he can move in, and she'll prorate you the difference on that rent when y'all close.
Right.
It's a 1,500 square foot house.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, we're just, and I appreciate it. It's just, we like I said, we don't need these grand slams, but we need really good, like, because we know they're there, right? Like
There's a solid house in Circle C, and the situation with this particular home,
now we're getting,
I went under contract with it. I terminated after I had an out to get out of. I released my earnest money to him. I released all the option money to him, and then he got mad because I went under contract for a different house, and that different house. So the way that my loan was when I went under contract with him, it was contingent upon me closing on a property, which would have given me $265,000. That person backed out and walked from $500,000. He had no outs. He just walked. So that fell apart, and then the stock market crashed, and I went putting 10% down with 3 months of reserves to 35% down and 18 months of reserves. We're talking $785,000 in cash. So I pulled. I was like, I'm out. And then one of my boys had a house down the street that was way more expensive, but the way that the loan would work, I could essentially bring the same amount to the table, right? He found out about it and sued me. He sued me for non-performance and whatever else. Long story short, never put his house on the market for, it was like 6-8 weeks, and then tried to say that what the market value of that home was at that time. He wanted to sue me for the losses. And I was like, you didn't put your house on the market. You knew I couldn't qualify. You got fucking mad. You just had a bitter divorce, and now I'm your person. Literally came by peeking in my windows, stalked my house for a while, sent other people to knock on my door to ask if I was under contract with someone, interested in selling. It's all creepy.
Good way.
Anyways, that's the backstory.
Okay.
The flip side of that is it's not listed. It's on hold right now.
What do you think we could get it for?
1.2, which is I'll tell you, appraisal value is about 130,000 under appraisal value.
Okay.
But they will do owner finance. Not owner. You can assume the loan.
What's the loan?
What
You can
interest?
assume his loan.
What interest rate?
Fuck, he bought it like a year and a half ago, so it's gotta be real low.
Yeah.
And he bought it for 1.1. But they have it listed at 1. They had it listed at 1.2 or maybe 1.3. Take 1.2 and you can assume the mortgage, and that's a fucking beautiful house.
130
It's
and a
beautiful.
half.
It was like I was gonna settle
10%?
for that because there was nothing else on the market that I could get. Like, because it was like literally
Come on,
fight or
Amber.
flight. I was willing to pay $250,000 over list just to get into it.
So you don't think they would do $1 million cash?
I mean, he's upside down by $150,000 because he put 50 into it and paid 1.1.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, what is his plan right now? Is he just living
I
there?
can't speak to him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I'll tell you that I've got him on video walking past my house and peeking in my windows. Oh, he's a creeper. But he doesn't have to move. But I know that that's gone back on hold. The listing has.
Yeah.
And the last time I'd seen it, you can assume that mortgage.
Got it. This is good. What else you got?
I have another friend that can also in Circle C that you can assume their mortgage, but not at their rate.
Yeah.
There is a house that is listed on Canterbury. It's not moving ready. It's not moving ready. You have to put some work into it. It's listed at $850. I know. They'll take $625 for it. And it's zoned SF2. You can add on to the house, and it's got an alley entrance and then a road entrance. And you can do a duplex on it.
I'm already
There are no
working that
trees in
deal.
the way. I know
That's
their,
how you
their
should.
number right now, 625.
625. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I was told.
I'm at 575 already.
675, but I know
You
if
see
you
that?
offered him
This
600,
is the one we've been
I'd
working
offer him 600.
With you.
Yeah,
And
this is the
they'd probably
dude
take
who.
it if you can do cash and quick.
How do you find these?
I live and breathe everything in the city. Like I have network. Like just growing up here, I probably know
This
a
is our
couple
girl.
100,000 people in the city. Like there was only so many high school. When I graduated, there was 450,000 people in the city. That was 1998. And our metropolitan area is 2.1. But I work in the service industry.
These are the
5 different
relationships.
business
We're still
licenses.
recording?
I don't burn bridges. I love everybody, you know? And so, like, people just call me like, hey, can you move this for me? Hey, here's my bottom number. Well, this is what I'm looking for. And if I can't find it, you know, I've done this amazing networking for 6 years where they call me the property owner. People will call and say, hey, can you find this? And I was like, as long as I don't have 5 or 10 days to do it, yeah, I can. Just give me a point, you know? And so I did that for years. And all of these other agents in the industry, I'm not a trash realtor. I'll help you out. Even if I don't even get a commission, like helping somebody out one day, who knows if I'm going to write a contract and they're willing to discount their commission to make a deal happen.
No,
You know?
I like your style. I appreciate it.
It's being a good fucking human,
Yeah.
you know? And I just, and I take hits, I take punches, I pick my teeth back up off the floor. I have been in a ring more times than a million, and I'll stand back up, take it again, and say, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it better. But that's every industry I've been in here. But man, I worked in the service industry for off and on for 15
These are the
years.
relationships that.
You know, and
pay
that
off.
network of people here in Austin that are now successful, that know people, that know people, that know people, that know people.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Networking. That's
No,
long story
I'm
short,
with you.
networking.
Well, I appreciate it. I gotta go in a second, but like we're gonna get a deal done, and I really appreciate the way you go about things, and I'm excited for when we do get a deal done.
Yeah, man. Hey, honestly, Matt, though, seriously, if y'all wrote an offer for like 10 million for Stagecoach, I bet my guy would take it.
Okay.
If you had somebody go and do that one for multifamily and
It's a
high-end mixed
large
use.
land tract. Okay.
But,
I'll talk to
Yeah.
my guy. I appreciate you a lot.
all right, I'll talk to you later. my
Thank you,
friend.
Amber. Have a good one.
Bye.
One call. She knows everybody. That's all we need. But it's the conversation. It's that relationship. You know, that's an easy call. I'm going to do a deal with her eventually. No doubt about it.
Never done a deal.
No. So hopefully that's valuable.
Sounds like she's mid Circle C.
Yeah. Miss Austin.
All right. So, any last questions?
Possible to get a deal done with no money.
Yeah.
Just find the deal, find the opportunity. When you find value, there's always a way to make money. You can bring on a partner. They'll put up all the capital, you keep ownership, you can wholesale it to them. Back to all the exit strategies, right? Wholesale doesn't require any money. JV partner doesn't require any money. Flip, not necessarily. Commission, nope. Sub two. Actually, you don't need money for any of it. You just need the deal.
Raising capital, buying it. You could buy it with
You
somebody
just
else.
can't lend on it.
Yeah, if you don't have any cash.
That's it. You can't be the lender.
So all of these exit strategies, you can buy this deal with $0.
You got to have the right people in your corner, though. Great question.
How difficult is it to assume a loan? Is it just basically qualifying for the loan based on the lender's report?
There's two different ways. There's like an actual assumption where you get with the lender and you get approved, or there's the subject to where you just take it over under the radar. You sign on as you are the owner. You get the deed in your name. There is the due on sale clause. We have a podcast that talks about this in depth, where you can kind of play this cat and mouse game. Alan Shesker with his title company can help with that. But there's two different ways. Either the full assumption where you really apply, which we don't necessarily recommend, because especially now, they're not going to just let you take over at the existing rate. They're going to want to jack it up. The real way is to do subject to with it.
Yeah, not difficult. Not difficult. Again, most important thing is this deal right here. And the paperwork's simple. Drop the contract, seller finance addendum, bring it to a good title company such as Alan Shesker's office, And a good attorney at the good title company will make sure that all the paperwork's in order, everything happens the way it's supposed to. And really all you got to do is go out there, find a good deal, let the professionals do their thing, close, and you just bought a great deal.
Does the seller get the money for the additional read?
They can, absolutely.
All right, and then how do you go about flipping or wholesaling larger pieces of land?
Here's a secret. There is no secret. It's the same exact way.
Yeah. You're just gonna want to have developers and builders that you talk to on the exit side, but it's the same process. Find the value, find a buyer, leave value for that buyer. We got the contracts, we got that course, which will go a little bit more in depth and really help you. Back to what Alex said, we made 700,000 on one deal. That course will go through everything there, but we're also, always here to be a resource.
Yep. Always here to be a
Don't
resource.
overcomplicate things. Just find opportunities, find deals,
Find deals.
have these conversations.
Have these conversations. And if you want the wholesale course, again, we're offering it 80% off only tonight. Tomorrow it's going to be $997. It's $199 tonight. Kat's going to put it in the link again. Make sure you go here, enter the coupon code. Kat's going to put it in the link, TRE, all lowercase. But get the wholesale course. If you're looking to utilize wholesaling as one of your exit strategies here for the recession coming up in 2023, get the course, learn how to do it the right way, learn how to take it from start all the way to finish, build a good team around you. And that's what this course is. And it's not some long drawn out course, by the way. You're not going to be sitting in front of the computer and watching 100 hours worth of video. This course is designed to get you to take action. It's quick, simple, easy, tells you exactly what you need to know, no fluff, so that you can get out there and go take action and make money.
Yeah, that's all we got. Appreciate you guys a lot. We're always here. We're TRE here in Austin, Texas. Matt and Alex, if you can, check out our YouTube channel, follow our social media pages.
Make sure to subscribe.
Get your real estate license if you want to be a true entrepreneur. And just know that there's a small window to go get some deals done. You can change your life, your family's life, and your kids' life. This is generational type stuff. We're pumped up about it, and we are ready to get after it. So here to help, guys, any way we can. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Thank you. See y'all next time.